A woman only respects you when you've completely let go. Why genuine detachment earns real respect. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to cling to a woman, the more she pulls away? And on the flip side, when you simply let go, when you stop chasing and become genuinely indifferent, when she starts to see you differently and truly respect you. This isn't magic. It's a deep psychological principle that few men truly understand. A woman's respect for a man grows from his emotional detachment. Cling to those who deserve you. Let go of those who don't know your value. In this video, we're going to break down this brutally honest and liberating secret that will change how you approach relationships forever. The myth of control and why it destroys respect. Many guys believe that to earn respect, they need to control the situation, demand attention, and constantly prove their worth. But the opposite is true. When you try to control a woman or act clingy, you're actually showing insecurity. And insecurity doesn't breed respect, it creates distance. Why is control the #1 enemy of respect? Because respect is born from admiration and freedom, not from pressure or neediness. When you try to hold sand too tightly, it slips through your fingers. How does detachment change this dynamic? Detachment isn't about being cold. It's about valuing yourself enough to not be emotionally dependent on her. It's about letting her choose to be with you, not because you're begging, but because she genuinely wants to. Detachment creates space for respect to flourish, because nobody respects someone who begs for attention. How excessive clinginess destroys your image and repels respect. When you're overly attached, what does she really see? A man who needs her to feel complete, and that's the opposite of what attracts and inspires respect. Why is excessive attachment so damaging? Because it creates an unbalanced dynamic where you're always chasing her, and she becomes the one who calls the shots. Women are naturally drawn to men who have their own lives, their own interests, and who don't live to please others. Cling too much and you become a hostage. Let go and you become a desire. How to spot signs of clinginess in yourself. You send too many texts and expect immediate replies. You get anxious when she takes time to respond or goes out with her friends. You do things just to please her, even when you don't want to, just to keep her attention. Strategies to start letting go today. Cultivate hobbies and friendships outside of the relationship. Set clear boundaries for your time and energy. Practice conscious detachment. Be close by choice, not out of need. The power of emotional independence. Emotional independence is the cornerstone of earning a woman's true respect. It's not about being cold or distant, but about being whole and secure in yourself, regardless of her presence. Why does emotional independence command respect? Because it shows you aren't reliant on her for your happiness. This creates a natural attraction, as nobody respects a man who loses himself trying to please others. An emotionally independent man is a fortress no one wants to tear down. How to develop your emotional independence. Work on your self-awareness to understand your emotions. Practice acceptance. Don't expect her to be the sole source of your happiness. Invest in yourself, your health, career, friendships, and passions. The practical result. When she realizes you're a complete and happy person, even without being with her all the time, her respect and desire for you will grow together. How detachment creates space for respect to flourish. When you let go, you stop being an emotional prisoner and become a presence she desires and respects. Why is space so vital for respect? Space allows her to miss you, to think about you, and to truly value your presence. Without space, a relationship becomes suffocating, and nobody respects a man who suffocates them. Respect is born from the balance between closeness and freedom. How to create space without actually pulling away. Give her attention, but not too much. Show interest, but keep your own plans. Let her take the initiative sometimes. The impact on the relationship. More space leads to more desire, more freedom, and, consequently, more respect. How detachment boosts your self-confidence and attracts respect. Letting go is also a powerful display of self-confidence. When you're not clinging to what doesn't serve you, you show that you know your value and won't accept anything less. Why does self-confidence earn instant respect? Because she sees that you don't depend on her to feel good about yourself, and that completely shifts the power dynamic between you. A man who values himself doesn't need to beg for respect. How detachment makes you more confident. You learn to handle rejection without losing your self-esteem. You stop living in approved or not approved mode by another person. You become the main character of your own life. A practical example. When she doesn't text back immediately, you maintain your emotional balance and don't chase her in a panic. How detachment reveals your true masculinity and earns respect. The real man isn't the one who controls or pursues. He's the one who knows his worth and maintains his integrity, even in the face of uncertainty. Why is detachment tied to authentic masculinity? Because it shows you're not afraid to lose, that you're secure in yourself, and that you respect both yourself and her. Detachment isn't giving up. It's taking control of your life. How to cultivate this detached masculinity? Avoid clingy or jealous behaviors. Hold your ground, even in difficult situations. Show that your happiness isn't exclusively dependent on the relationship. The effect on her respect. Women naturally respect men who exude security and self-control. Detachment as a tool to set healthy boundaries. Respect also comes from the ability to set clear, firm boundaries in a relationship. Why are boundaries essential for respect? Without boundaries, you become a hostage to her wants and insecurities, and that undermines your authority and respect. He who can't say no loses respect from himself and from others. How detachment helps you set boundaries. When you're not attached, it's easier to say no without the fear of losing her. Clear boundaries show that you value yourself and won't accept anything less than you deserve. This creates a more balanced relationship where respect flourishes naturally. Practical examples: not answering texts outside of your free time, declining invitations that don't work for you, expressing your feelings without fear of rejection. How detachment strengthens attraction long-term. Detachment isn't a one-time act. It's a consistent practice that keeps the flame of attraction burning over time. Why does detachment keep attraction alive? Because when you're not always available, she feels like she has to invest more to win you over. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it also breeds respect. Strategies to practice daily detachment. Have your own routine and interests. Even when you're in a relationship, avoid immediately responding to every message. Create special, rather than common, moments together. The lasting impact. Relationships built on healthy detachment tend to be more balanced, respectful, and passionate. How detachment protects you emotionally and increases your value in her eyes. When you practice detachment, you create a healthy barrier against unnecessary pain. And that makes you stronger and more attractive. Why is protecting your emotional health crucial for respect? Because women can sense when a man is emotionally balanced that radiates confidence and value. He who doesn't drown in his emotions is the one who truly navigates the sea of relationships. How detachment works as an emotional shield. It prevents codependency, which leads to devaluation. It gives you the clarity to know when it's worth continuing to invest. It allows you to make decisions with your head and heart in alignment. The transformative power of detachment to earn real respect. You've seen that detachment isn't about losing. It's about gaining respect, gaining self-confidence, and gaining control of your own life. When you stop clinging and start valuing yourself, the woman in your life will begin to truly respect you because respect is born from freedom, authenticity, and balance. Detaching is the most courageous act a man can do to become irresistible. Start walking the path of detachment and respect today. If you want to learn how to be that strong, confident, and respected man that women are drawn to, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get the best content on dating and self-development. Comment below which detachment step you're going to start applying right now. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear this truth. Don't wait any longer to be the man who owns his life and earns true respect.